Hello, this is the full moon in Virgo outlook for March the 7th, 2023. So we have the moon opposing the sun, of course, for the full moon at 16 degrees of Virgo. And what is Virgo? Virgo is the sixth house. It's about work. It's about employment. It's also very analytical and critical. So, this full moon will be of just that. We will be, or feel rather, critical, analytical, and also it highlights our work and our employment, or our approach or our attitude to our work, and to some degree our criticism of not just others but of ourself as well, and especially because the moon is a full moon opposite the sun in Pisces. Well, what is Pisces? Pisces is naturally the 12th house. And because opposites most times are very much alike, more times than not, although they're called opposites, the Pisces connection with Virgo is they are both healers. They are both involved with medicine, holistic, alternative, and they are very perceptive and intuitive because we're talking Virgo, because Virgo can be a bit picky, but Virgo's insight is right on and very much can be said for the sign of Pisces in that it rules the 12th house and is a water sign. So we are going to develop heightened intuition about healing, about that which is connected with medical. This is a time when there may be some concerns with health or wellness, or diet, exercise, these themes between the healing energies of both Pisces and Virgo will be very prominent. And of course, every year between the full moon in Virgo with the Pisces sun. So, also, what else does Pisces connect with, especially when it is opposite its moon in Virgo? But anytime you have a negative aspect, and in this case, even the full moon, it is connected with what? Yes, secrets, because we're talking the full moon in Virgo, and of course, that is opposing the sun. So there is some kind of knowledge that we need to figure out. We need to investigate because one of the best traits of Virgo is that they are natural researchers, analytical, critical in their thinking, disseminate all forms of information. And so this is what's highlighted right now. And from the full moon in Virgo until the new moon in Aries. So a lot will be either in the media or in our personal life. We have to pick apart information. What do we need to organize, Virgo, in order to get to the bottom of things, in order to figure out what is being hidden? And this will be highlighted. And it's also good because of this full moon too, because of the themes of healing. That's not just physical healing, it's emotional, it is mental. But with picky Virgo, guaranteed we will have to analyze everything about our lives in order to, well, find what? More happiness, more peace of mind, and balance. And that is what the Virgo full moon is about with Pisces. It is about finding that center, our peace of mind. So at the end of the day, yes, Virgo can pick apart the details, the minute details of life, and everything connected with the sixth house, whether it be work, diet. Hey, and it also rules our pets. So information connected with animals or pets and so on, their well-being, what have you, will also possibly be very paramount, as well as the other sixth house interests. And we also have Mercury in Pisces, and Pisces is about what? With Mercury, it is about our thinking, and Pisces here too is also connected with the 12th house. So right now, especially with this Virgo connection, it's all about healing and feeling that we have to analyze what we feel is of importance. But with Mercury and Pisces, it's very sensitive as the sun and as Neptune in Pisces. So the wonderful thing about Pisces is it's about our compassion, our sensitivity. So at this time, this is when we will find that we may, which is really positive, think before we speak. It's about really possibly focusing on not just compassion and concerns of the 12th house, but it is about really applying our sensitivity to our emotions, kind of really kind of doing some sit down soul searching about the way that we feel, the state of our emotions and our mind. And there's that word again, healing, and so on. Although Mercury will not conjoin the sun, it is still highlighted right now, especially since the depositor is Neptune in Pisces, and by the end of the month, Mercury will come to conjoin Neptune. But again, that's for another celestial report. And we have Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And for the first time at the end of this month in March, Pluto will then exit Capricorn into the sign of Aquarius at 0 degrees. And right now, for the full moon, it is making an exact conjunction with Saturn, the restrictor, the disciplinarian in Aquarius. So, what does this mean? Well, Saturn is, yes, it's about restriction, it's about rules, it's about discipline, but at this time, Saturn is going to be headlonging into the sign of Pisces. So, although Saturn is finishing up in Aquarius and Pluto in Capricorn, because they are at critical degrees, and although they're not conjunct, I'm sorry, right now they are making a semi-sextile. Let me make that correction here. But nonetheless, it is exact. We have to look at what could be possibly critical about the degrees of Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn and Aquarius, respectively? Well, Pluto is the power planet. It is representative of the eighth house, Scorpio. It's about transformation. And whatever sign that Pluto is in will be connected with what form of depth and transformation or shutting the door that is of importance to us. Because the eighth house is a beginnings, but mostly, especially where Pluto is concerned, the endings. So with Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn, Capricorn is about what? It's about structure. It's about government or the powers that be. And as we can see, since 2008, from Pluto's reign in the sign of Capricorn, certainly our belief systems, those who have been leaders, the powers that be, structure has all been transformed to some degree. Rules, regulations, you name it. Everything that Capricorn and, yes, Saturn is connected with. Also, the workforce, job, careers, all have been to some degree transformed or changed, or there have been much in the way of endings about how we do things since Pluto has been in Capricorn. So now, with Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, just before and even when it touches down into 0 degrees Aquarius, because it is on the cusp or the precipice between Capricorn and Aquarius, it leads me to believe right around the time of the full moon, certainly before the new moon in Aries, there will be some kind of very paramount change or transformation within that which is connected with power and structure, whether it's leadership, powers that be, structure that deals with career, workforce, and rules and regulations. And that can be that there may be a change of leadership that may be of some importance. But what does it mean for us personally? Well, personally, you must look at your personal birth chart, because the house that Pluto in this case is connected with will indicate where change and transformation will occur for you personally. However, where Pluto touches, you can guarantee there's going to be, during this full moon, some kind of change or transformation. For example, if you have Pluto at 29 degrees in your second house, you will have to make changes or transform the way you make money or you handle your finances, for example. And so Pluto, before it goes into Aquarius, will definitely go out with a bang. It will be very strongly felt, especially connected with Pluto and the eighth house. Now we have the semi-sextile to Saturn in Aquarius, also at 29, virtually at 0 degrees of Pisces. Nonetheless, it will be felt as well. And interestingly enough, the connection with Pluto and Saturn during this full moon will be felt even more so about the aforementioned traits because Saturn is the depositor of Pluto in Capricorn, and it is an Aquarius. So remember, Capricorn is about structure, the rules, the powers that be, and its depositor is barely there in Aquarius and headlonging into the water sign of Pisces. So Pluto's going from Earth to air, and Saturn is going from air to water. So this tells me something will really, during this time in March, will really move us as far as our humanity, our principles, our belief systems, and so on. Because we're talking air to water, both critical degrees at 29 degrees, Saturn in Aquarius to 0 degrees of Saturn in Pisces, Pluto 29 critical in Capricorn, then to 0 degrees Aquarius. So this month will indeed, not just this full moon, but this month of March will be very marked as far as our opinions, belief systems. There may be a lot of opinions going around, or a little bit of some feistiness connected with the collective or connected with the media. You name it. And of course, that word again, our humanity and our connections, our communications with who our fellow man, and so on. And also, what else is Saturn connected with? With Aquarius. It's connected with space. It's connected with our future, technology. And so these topics will be paramount throughout all of March because of the connection with 29 degrees Pluto and Capricorn and the depositor at 29 degrees of Aquarius. So we will definitely have a sense of our future and our personal belief systems, and possibly even taking action for such during the month of March and this Virgo full moon. So we have Venus in Aries just past the exact conjunction with Jupiter and Chiron, the healer. And Aries, what is Aries? Aries is the first house, and it is a fire sign filled with a lot of super enthusiasm. And with Aries, Aries is a leader. So information kind of connected with Saturn and Pluto to some degree, and especially with Pluto, there could be a lot of information coming out about leaders or leadership and so on. And for us personally, we may have to take the lead in a particular issue and in our life and just go all out. But it is still making a conjunction, although a wide conjunction, with Venus, the planet of love, and conjoining Chiron, the healer. So during this time of the full moon, we will be very enthusiastic about projects and creativity and beginning projects, possibly because we're talking Aries. Aries is the beginning, and Aries is about our leadership, our sense of independence, self-sufficiency. And with Venus, Venus is connected with Libra, and here with Venus in its fall, its opposite sign of Aries, this is all about really our self-expression and really taking pride in who we are, being very focused on taking the initiative. And it's also about beauty. So with Venus and Jupiter, there could be really some wonderful connections right now with art, beauty, performing arts, fine arts, you name it, all forms of the creative. And what else is Jupiter connected with? It's connected with money. It is connected with our luck, prosperity. So this is a time during this full moon of abundance and really believing in who we are. You may hear during this month of March a lot about gurus and inspiration and enlightenment, and that's what heals us or makes us feel good about ourselves, especially with the connection with Chiron and Venus. We have a very strong sense not only of who we are, but we are feeling very forward looking and want to begin and take charge of our future and our well-being, especially with that Virgo full moon. Yes, indeed. And we still have Mars in Gemini, finishing up in Gemini this month and headlong into the sign of Cancer. And it's at 21 degrees and making a sweet sextile with Venus in Aries. And that only extenuates this theme of abundance and positivity, creativity, you name it, with Mars in Gemini. So Mars in Gemini and Aries, what do they have in common? Aries is the beginner. It's enthusiastic and it is about self-starting, independence, you name it. And Mars communicates that because Mars is the planet of action. Go get them. And in this case, Mars is in Gemini. So we want to communicate our goals. And we are feeling still, as of yet, with that Gemini connection with Mars, we are feeling very restless. We want to be on the go. We want to really paint a beautiful picture of what is ahead for us. And with Mars there, with that connection with Venus, Venus, kind of like Jupiter, is connected with the material, money, prosperity, and beauty, yes. And Mars is connected with Aries because Aries ruler is Mars. And so this is also going to be a very prominent sextile between these two planets. That's too positive for this full moon in Virgo. Yes. However, we do have a square off up, yes indeed, with the moon in Virgo. And Mars with Gemini is all about communication. We want to project our opinions. It's about what? The written word, the spoken word, the third house, you name it. Anything about communication extraordinaire with Mars and Gemini. But with the moon in Virgo, the moon likes to disseminate when it's in the sign of Virgo. And it's all about the sixth house, our work. We've got to be up to snuff on our diet and our health and so on. But with Mars in Gemini, it clashes a little bit. There's a square off going on between the moon and Mars. So Mars is action and the moon is about what? It's about how we feel. It's about change. It's also about the collective. So we have to find that peace, or that common ground between how we are feeling and analyzing, researching, and taking that research and communicating effectively with Mars in Gemini. Because with that square off with the moon, if we don't organize, research, pick apart information accurately, and we are too enthusiastic to communicate what we have found about our research, about our analytical whatever, then things could get a little bit crazy. And so right now we have to kind of temper the energy of Mars in Gemini with the full moon. And to top it all off here, there is a wide T square with the moon in Virgo, Mars in Gemini, and the sun in Pisces, and Mars squaring off with Neptune, and within a day it will be the moon with Neptune. And anytime we have this square off, and especially a T square with, in this case, the mutable signs, and anything squaring off, but especially a full moon in Virgo with Neptune, it's about what? That's right, secrets. So, on one hand, we've got information we got to figure out, and Virgo has to get to the bottom of things. Virgo will disseminate until they find the answers. And then we've got the sun in Pisces, and Pisces is more about let's just go with the flow. And Mars is wanting right now to take action and disseminate the information, but Mars wants to hurry up and quickly put the information out there. Mars in Gemini doesn't want to take the time to figure things out like Virgo. So that's where the conflict is. We know there's information that we have to figure out what is the truth, what we have to get to the bottom of, but Mars wants to get things done now, yesterday. So the key here is to blend this T square with this Neptunian energy, if you will, to, yes, know that there's information at our disposal that we have to kind of dissect and research, but we want to do it very effectively, take our time, figure out the information, and whatever we find out now that may be kept from us by the full moon, the new moon in Aries will all be revealed. So this is a good time to do some behind the scenes work. And also, Pisces is all about what else? Pisces is all about water. And with the T square between Mars, the full moon in Virgo, and of course the sun in Pisces, and applying a conjunction with Neptune, and of course later on in the month Mercury will connect with Neptune, we may have a little bit of a concern about what? Our water. And that is not always an abundance of water, although it could be. There may also be, during the time of this full moon in March, a concern with droughts or the lack of water. Could be a concern that we have now connected with weather-related changes in particular. Also is connected with minerals, liquids. There could be an issue with liquid or water. Also, our waterways, the oceans, and especially with Virgo. Virgo is that of cleanliness, purity, wholesomeness. So there may be an issue with cleaning or purifying that which is connected with our water, and so on and so forth. And the atmosphere, because we are talking water, moisture, and so on. And we've got Uranus still in Taurus. That's very good, especially because it makes an exact, well, nearly exact, within a degree, an exact trine to the moon in Virgo. That's very good because Uranus is connected with Aquarius, and that's also the depositor here of both Saturn and Pluto. So there could be some kind of not just humane concerns right now, but of a concern with the environment. And Uranus is very unique, so there may be a very unique stance or outlook to making changes or making improvements with our environment, with cleanup, with water, you name it, or that is what is connected with our Earth. Mother Earth, Uranus in Taurus, and making a beautiful trine to this full moon in Virgo. So very unique outlooks about that which is connected with the second house, with the sixth house. And what else is Taurus and Virgo? They're both earth signs, so that could be very positive regarding the economy. We may have some good financial news, good news connected with investments, banking, real estate, uh, you name it. This is very solid for that as well, especially since within about a day and a half, the moon will then make a sweet trine to powerhouse Pluto. So there's going to be a need there connected with something regarding finances, money, the economy, and so on. But I'm led to believe in a very positive direction. So at the end of the day, this full moon in Virgo does have some bumpy aspects connected with the mutable sign T square. It's about being open and honest. It's about research, which can be all too positive. But there are wonderful connections with money and prosperity because of the Jupiter, Chiron, and Venus connection, and with Mars. It's about taking action on what we see and vision for the future. And yes, there may be some grand opinions right now regarding our fellow man, our humanity, and who knows, technology and the collective, especially with the last degree with both Saturn and Pluto. But this is all about expressing ourselves even within the collective to what? To heal. And at the end of the day, that's what Virgo and Pisces are all about. Many, many blessings.